Yeah. So we had one introduction session where we saw what we are going to cover in the syllabus here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we saw a little bit about the introduction part of the SAP. We all know what is SAP. It's just basically an ERP software, and the job of any ERP software is to manage the entire organization, right? This is what we cover, and we saw the architectural part of it. Yeah, we discussed that part. Then the transaction code, right? And then we discussed one of the important thing. How does a project is handled in SAP, right? There we saw we basically have three different system here: development, quality, and production. The development system is completely dedicated for pure development purpose, where we will be building the application. Quality is all about testing, and the production system is the live system. It is basically the live system where your so it's nothing but a live system. It is the live system where the end user will finally test the application. So this is the last phase of testing. Here also the client will be running the app, right? Then we saw a concept of mechanism here. So to transport the application from one system to another, we are going to use a mechanism, and this particular mechanism is called as transport request, right? This is what we have already discussed. Again, this transport request is everything controlled by the basis team. When we are required to do the transport from one system to another, we will be simply releasing it and they will be managing it, right? This is what we do. Is it clear, right? Okay. Now I will open our SAP system. I'm going to simply open the SAP system and I will create one transport request for our training, which we are going to use. Yeah. So I will go to SE10 or you can simply go to SE09. Both of them are dedicated for transport request purpose only. And when you are talking about pure development part here, same. When we are talking about pure development part here, only workbench request is the thing that we are going to create. So I will simply go for this create button. A pop-up will come and we will create our workbench request here. Yeah. I will give here a timing. So let's say 8 to 9 a.m. morning or ABAP and ABAP on HANA training. Guys, you can unmute yourself at any time if you will have any question. Okay, that's not a big issue. Say it. So we have created our transport request. This is the transport request that we are going to use it, right? Now, let's start with our very first chapter. The very first chapter that we have here is our data dictionary in this training. Okay. So can anyone please explain it a little bit about it? Any idea about this stuff? Data dictionary. Anyone? Am I audible for everyone?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, I'm asking like anything, any sort of thing on this data dictionary. Anyone? No?
Maybe it
Okay.
explains um, those initial concepts like integers we use, basic
Mm.
operations, I guess.
No, 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 no. That is not a thing that we are going to explain for it. Okay.
Okay.
Data,
Uh,
data
so
dictionary is the main use for the central
for
repository, right?
central repository, everything in SAP is a central repository. Yeah, it is a central repository, but for what purpose? That is the most important thing here
For
now.
maintaining the table and all.
Yeah, for maintaining the data dictionary objects, database objects. Okay. So what SAP has done, we have discussed this part like in our very first session that they have divided it. They have divided this system into various parts, which we can use at different purposes, right? So this is also known as DDIC. Yeah, this is also known as DDIC, data dictionary, or we can call it, some people call it ABAP dictionary also. And we see it is the central repository system in SAP, which is used to manage the database objects. It is used to manage the database objects. These database objects are tables, domains, data elements, search helps, log objects. It is lots of things are there, and these are one of them. Data dictionary. It is a central repository in the SAP, which is used to manage the database object. Now, if you go to this, so the transaction code for this DDIC or data dictionary, the T code for this DDIC is SE11. So if you check your SAP system, if you will go to SE11 here, you are going to see this. This is your ABAP dictionary here. Yeah, this is your ABAP dictionary. And the very first radio button that we see here is database table, right? So again, one more question from my side. What is a table? What is a table?
Collection of data.
Collection of data. Okay. So if I'm storing data in Excel, will it be a table? It will also be collection of data.
It is just collection of data, not a
Uh,
table.
okay.
Maybe
Any other answer on this?
It is also a data repository.
Repository is not a good word every time. I'm just asking a simple definition table. Normal question. What is a table? How can we define it? Very simple
just
question.
Collection
storing
of
elements in a row or column.
Yeah, it stores the data in the row and column as similar to Excel also. Then what is the difference between
Mm.
Excel and this one? That is the question.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's see that and let's try to find it out. Guys, table is collection of rows. Yeah, it's completely correct. Table is a collection of rows and columns, but it is the only permanent storage of data in a database. So it is the permanent storage where data will be stored. Whenever you hear this word, the permanent storage of data, it simply means the data must be stored in a table. The table is stored in the database. The table or the schema of a table, we will discuss it, what the concept of schema in HANA part. So the schema of a table is stored in the database itself. So, simple definition, a table is a collection of rows and columns, and it is the permanent storage where data will be stored inside the database. Yeah, collection of rows and columns. Okay. Or you can simply say it is the actual place. Again, it is the actual place where the data will be stored permanently. It is the actual place where the data will be stored permanently, right? Now, SAP is also providing some different kinds of standard tables which we can use for our reference. And this is again very important for the interview purpose also. So what they have done, they have given some important transaction codes for different modules. and their tables also. So this is expected from any ABAP developer, that they must have the knowledge of this sort of thing. Yeah. So when we see the table concept in SAP, what they have done basically here is SAP has divided the tables into two different parts, or into mainly two different parts. Two different parts. The very first thing that they call is header table. You might have heard this header data, item data. Yeah, am I correct? Item table. Did you ever heard about this terminology, header and item? Did you ever heard it?
Yes, we have heard about this the name header
Yeah.
and item table.
Okay, okay, good. Now understand the situation. Why do I need a header and item? Then we will come to this again. Let's see, I want to store some sort of employee data. Okay, so let's say I have got one employee ID, one employee name. Let's say I'm passing my name, one department, let's say SAP ABAP kind of thing. Then every month, some transactions is getting stored, right? Every month, some transaction is getting stored. And this table, this is my employee table. Okay, let's take a normal example. This table is my employee table. Employee table. Yeah. And what I see here is, for me, every month, some project is getting allocated. Project is getting allocated. Yeah. So if I will try to store my project data in the same table in a column here, let's say I'm naming it project 1, which was allocated on, suppose, some date 5th May, or let's say today's date 7th May. Yeah. So it was allocated today. Now, suppose after 15 days or 20 days, another project is getting allocated. So will it be possible for me to add one more record here? Will it be possible for me to add one more record here? Just tell me one thing. With the same primary key, will it be possible for me to add one more record? Yes or no? In this table, will it be possible?
I think no. We can only one
Yes.
the
So
this
when we
level.
talk about the concept of primary key now, primary key is used to uniquely identify records of a internal table. Records of a table. That is why a primary key is mandatory for any table. So same stuff you see here. If a new project is getting allocated, I will not be able to add a new record. So to maintain the consistency, basically, what they did was, if the data is getting repeated again and again, please create a separate table. And they started calling it as an item table. So here in this item table, I will call this as an item table. Again, I'm just taking one reference. Okay. So they started calling it as an item table. And what they did here, they made multiple primary keys here. Multiple primary keys. Now, if we have multiple primary keys, the combination of both of them together will act as a primary key. And we will be able to actually get the data here. So here, what I can do now, I can add, let's say, one project ID 100, and then I can add my project 2. I can add here 101, then here project ID 200. So we have got here multiple primary keys. So see, this combination of these two are unique, correct? Combination of these two are unique, right? Combination
Yes,
of these two
yes.
are unique. So we will be able to store multiple values of the same employee ID. Now the system will be consistent, and what we can do, we can combine this, we can join these two tables with a relation, with a foreign key relationship. We can join them. We will see that part. For now, please try to understand why the concept of header and item table came, so that we can reduce the dependency and we can increase the decoupling, so that it will be easier for the developer to maintain the data in the different tables, right? So what header table does, header table contains the main document information, and mostly you will see it will have only one primary key. Mostly you will see it will have one primary key. We have then item table. Item table contains the item data, yeah. And in the item table, we will be able to add the duplicate records, because it can have more than one primary keys. Are you all able to get it? What I am trying to explain it here? Why do I need header and item here? Why they divided it? Because when we are talking about SAP system, we are only working on the data management stuff, right? We are working on the data related things. So how we are going to store the data and manage it? This is the thing how they have given this way, that the same structure database design that they have given. We will be seeing these T codes and their tables also. But are you able to get it? What I am trying to explain here? Why do I need two different tables here? Are you all getting? Hello? Are you all getting? Tushar, Prasanna, Prem, are you all getting this?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So now if we talk about these T codes, so if I'm going for some of the modules, let's say very first module is my sales and distribution. Yeah, if I talk about sales and distribution module, you will see three important T codes are there. So these T codes are VA01. VA01, this T code is dedicated for sales order creation. Sales order creation. Then we have VA02 for sales order change. And the third one that you see here is VA03, sales order display. Three T codes are there, VA01 and VA02 for display part. And for this particular sales and distribution module, they have given here two tables, again header and item. The very first table you will see is VBAK, and this item table is VBAP. VBAK is your sales order header table, sales order header table, and VBAP is your sales order item table. You see here. Okay. Again, this is only for knowledge purpose. It will help you in your interview. So if you go and check your SAP system, you can check VBAK table. Always open all the standard tables only in display mode. Please make sure of this. Whenever you are going for any standard tables that they have given, please open it in display mode, because you cannot modify it. Now focus on this. We will not discuss this MANDT right now. When we will start creating the table, we will understand it. For now, focus on this. This is a key here, VBELN, right? This is a primary key here. Sales document number is the primary key of this VBAK table. What kind of table is this one? Header table, right? This is a header table. And if you check the another one, which is the item, VBAP, if you check another one, which is the item here. So VBAP, I will open it. You will see here, we have got these two primary keys here. Here we have got multiple primary keys. So these multiple primary keys now will be able to store duplicate records. You can check this table, content, go for execute button, and you see here, VBLN value here, just check this. This is 4, 10, and 4 and 20. But if we check for this 4 in our header table, which is our VBAK, what we are going to see, there will only be one record here for this 4. This is the only primary key here, right? Are you all getting it? The concept of this header and item?
Yes,
Yeah.
Amrit.
Yes, yes.
Similar to this sales and distribution, we have got another module here, which is second, we'll have invoice details, which is a part of sales. And here we have got some important T codes. These T codes are uh, BF01. This is billing document creation. Billing document creation. VF02, billing document change. And VF03, which is billing document display. Document display. Okay. VF01, VF02, and VF03, right? We are able to get it. Here also we have got some important tables. So the header table you will have is VBRK. You can give this name here as billing document header. Yeah, document header. And the item table that we have is VBRP, which is billing document item table, right? These things are there. Please go through these things again and again and try to remember it. It will eventually help you. Okay. Then we have the third one. Third thing we have here is SAP Material Master or Material Management module. For this you have got the T codes for creation, change, and display. 01, 02, 03. Yeah. And the tables dedicated for these modules are MARA and MAKT. See here, MARA and MAKT. Yeah. We have purchase order also. So purchase order. And for this, we will have the T codes here. ME21N, ME22N, and ME23N. So these are the three T codes. And for this, the tables dedicated will be EKKO header and EKPO item table. Yeah. So I am using the one word here that that something is standard, something is custom. How we are going to differentiate them? Yeah. So how a standard object will be differentiated? How a standard object will be differentiated with the custom object? how it is going to be differentiated with the custom object. The simplest answer is the standard object name. Wait a second, there isn't Paul. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So, how you are going to differentiate a standard object with a custom one? What you can simply do here is the standard object name will never ever start with Z or Y. If any object name is getting start, so the standard object name will never ever start with Z or Y. Okay. Please always keep it in mind. If you are creating any object by yourself, creating any object as a developer or as a user, you can just, so it will always start either with Z or Y. Is it clear for everyone? Z or Y. The name of that object will always start with Z or Y. Mostly you see in the market, most of the people, what we see here is most of the people only use Z. So you can also use it. But again, if you prefer to use Y, it's okay. It's totally up to you. The name of these things will always start with Z or Y. Are you all getting it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, clear, right? So we are starting with this very first chapter, which is the most basic chapter of ABAP programming, the understanding of data dictionary, the database object, how things are working here, right? So we will also be creating our own header and item table so that we can see how these things are defined by SAP and how we can also create it for our requirement, right? So I will have here one header table. So header table. This header table, I am going to use the same sample case that I have used here. Employee table and project table. The same stuff. I will have one header table, which I will give here a name, let's say employee table. In this, I will be storing the data of the employee. Yeah. So employee table, right? This header table, it will contains the below columns. So this table will have, let's say, will have the below columns that I want to create. Yeah. So client number. Okay, I have one Excel. Let me just show you that part. I've got one Excel. There it is. Yeah. This is my employee table. And here, if you focus on, you see, these are the columns that I want in my table. Client number, employee ID, employee name, department, manager, salary, and the currency. And in my item table, I want to add client number, employee ID, project ID, and project name. What is this client number here? Yeah. What is this client number here? Can anyone explain the concept here, client number? What is client number? Very simple question I'm asking. I believe basis people can answer it. What is a client number? Okay, no problem. Let's see that part, guys. So client number, simply what a client number is going to do? Client number specifies that your table is client dependent table. Client dependent table. Yeah, your table is client dependent table. It is always the very first column of a table. Of a table. It is specified that your table is a client dependent table, and it is always the very first column of a table. The third thing that you are going to see here is we can not store any value here. We cannot store any value in this column. In this column, the client number of your SAP system will be automatically stored here. Stored here. The client number of your SAP system will be automatically stored here. Client number. So if you see that the tables that we have open here, VBAK table, see the very first column, MANDT, what it is? It is the client here. So, and if you check the system, check the tables here. MANDT, it is storing 100 value in the very first column. So if you see this part, if you will try to open it again, the logon client number is always there, and it is defined during the installation of your SAP system. At the same time, it is defined when you install this SAP system. Yeah, at the same time, it is defined. Yeah, see. Okay. So client number, again, it is not mandatory to use it. It is not mandatory to use it, but most of the tables are client dependent. And I personally believe that in your project also, around 99% you are going to only create the client table dependent tables. Yeah. Okay. You are only going to create the client dependent table. Right? Are you all okay with this client number? Anything
Yes.
here? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, whenever we are going to create a table, suppose this is the requirement I got from my client that I have to create this table. They are asking me that, hey, Amrit, please create this table for me. So I got this requirement from them. Now the question here is, how am I going to, what will be my approach for creating a table? So that is the thing we are required to understand here. The very first thing, what are the steps that we will follow? We will follow to create a table. What are the steps that we will follow to create a table? Okay. So step one will be, we will be creating the domain. This is the first thing. We will be creating the domains first for each and every columns except client number. Client number, we have a standard domain and data element that is used, but for whenever we are going to create any custom table, we will be creating domains. So very first question comes in our mind is, what is a domain? Domain consists of technical characteristics of any table. of any table. Technical characteristic like data type of the column and its length. What will be the data type? What kind of data, what type of data you want to store there? That is going to be stored here. Okay. Characteristics. So what kind of data you are going to store in the column? It will be specified in the domain. This will be your very first step. Second step will be, we will be creating data elements. We will be creating the data elements. Okay. Data elements. What is data element? Inside the data element, we store the domains. First thing. Also, we specify how the column label will be visible to the user. Will be visible to the user. Whatever column is there for a table, when it is going to be displayed, the best example is just see this standard table. If I am going to display this VBELN or ERDAT, this kind of columns to the user, they will not be able to understand it. I am a technical person. You all are technical person. You will be able to understand yet that yes, this is sales document number, this is date and time, but the user will not be able to understand it now, right? So in that situation, a meaningful name is mandatory when we are displaying this table to the user, when they will be maintaining data in the table. So here in the data element, we specify how the column will be visible to the user, how the column label will be visible to the user. And also we are going to store our domain inside the data element. So a sample thing you can say it is data element is nothing but a combination of domain plus the label of the field. So field label. Again, in your SAP, whenever I'm saying field, column, everything is same. They are just synonym of each other. Okay. Whether I'm saying field or column, both of them are same. So this is going to be your second step. Third step will be step 3. What you will do is you will create the table. Yeah. And provide the technical settings. That part we will see, technical settings. Okay. And then we'll go to step 4. We will manage the data. Manage the data in the table. These are the main 4 steps which we will be using for creating any of the table. So this is my table here. If you see this employee ID, employee table, we are not required to create a domain and data element for client number. By default, SAP has given that, which we can use it. So we will be focusing on non-standard columns, which is here employee ID, employee name, department, manager, salary, and currency. First, we will go for this employee table, right? So let's create our domains first. What I will do, I will go to SE11. I will simply go to SE11 here. I will select this domain radio button. Just see this domain. And again, this is a custom data object, so its name must start with Z or Y. Okay. So I will start with Z and I will give here a domain name and I will give a unique value. Please make sure the name must be unique. So I'm giving the batch timing 8 to 9. One more thing, there should not be any space in between. Here you can see I have given underscore to combine them, but there should not be any space. Yeah. So if you want to give a space, better use underscore here or do not give it. There should not be any space in the name. Go for create button. This icon will open. Always we are required to pass a short description. So here I will pass employee ID. User is user will tell you what will be the data type and length for it. So if we see here, the data type is character for my employee ID and the length is 3. So I will go for this data type option. SAP has given lots of data type. I will search for my character here, and I will give here the length 3 and I will save it. So when you will click on save, it will ask for a package here. Yeah, very interesting. What is a package? What is a package? Another question comes into the picture. What is a package? Anyone? Guys, please try to make these trainings as an interactive session. Please try to ask as much questions as possible. Otherwise, you cannot become a ABAP developer. If you will not ask question, if you will not try to answer the question. What is a package?
I maybe it's like a folder.
Mm-hmm. Folder,
It
okay.
is used to organize and manage the data, right?
Organize the day and manage the data. It's not sufficient answer though. Okay, see here. Let's say I want to store something, okay? Let's say I want to store a packet of biscuit or a food item. What do I need if I want to store something? I will need a container, right? Where I can store it. I will need a place. So in your SAP system, these whole things are a object, right? All these things, this employee ID I'm creating, it is a object and it is a real life entity. It is taking some space. So we need a space where we are going to store it. Okay. So package is nothing. Package is a container where your database objects will be stored. I will suggest everyone to create your package. Package is created package builder, from package builder, and the T code for it is SE21. Another transaction code is coming into picture. You see, the name of the transaction code is not starting with Z. It simply means it is a standard transaction code. We can also create our own transaction code. We will see that part in the upcoming sessions. So SE21 is there, which is your package builder. So if I am going there, let me just show that if I am going to create one package for me, I will create a package for this training, SE21. Here I will start with again Z. This is a custom package which I am creating. So ABAP, I will give morning 8 to 9, 8 to 9, training, training. Okay. I will go for create. Pass a short description. So package for ABAP training, and go for OK button. By default, whenever you are going to create, it will ask for a transport request. And if you recall, we have created our transport request for our training. I will click on this F4, and this is the request that I have created for me. I will be using it. Requests are mandatory. For now, just go for it. Later on, we will see the local object also. Just you start using the transport request. Create your own transport request and start using it. I will save this. This is ready. I will copy the name of the package. Also now, if you go back to your transport request, which you have created, let me just show that. I will go back to SE10. SE10. I will open my click on display mode to check my transport request here. So you are going to see this, a package section has been added and this is your package. If you will double click, it will navigate you to the package section. So this is another feature of a transport request. You will be able to display everything directly from here, whatever object you have created. So this is another feature. We cannot remember every program or every database object that we have developed. So it is better to store it on a transport request so that we can directly go there and we'll be check it. We'll be able to check it. It is like a folder. It stores everything there in an arranged format. So this is the package for my training. I will get back to my domain. I will click on save. I will pass the package here. I will go for save button this. And here again, if your required request is not coming, transport request, you can click on F4 and you can just go and bring your transport request and click on OK button. So my my domain has been saved now. Okay. But it is not ready to use. Yeah. So this is another thing that you are required to understand here. Another thing. These three things always keep in mind. Three things to keep in mind while developing any database object. Developing any database object. So after once you create it, three things you are required to follow. One is Control plus S. This is a shortcut key, or you can simply click on this save button. Yeah. So Control plus F to save the data. Then another one, Control plus F2, another shortcut key, or you can click on this icon. Check Control plus F2 to check the syntax error. If there is an syntax error, because whatever you are doing, even on the creation of table directly from your SAP GUI or GUI, in the backend, a program is getting generated. You can check it, system status. See this, there is a screen program here. So a program is there in the backend. So is there any error or not? You can click on this syntax and check it. No error. A message we are getting here, no inconsistency found. So this is your second step. And the third step will be Control plus F3 to activate your object. Activate your object. Your object. Yeah. Please keep this in mind. If the object is not activated, we cannot use it. We cannot use it. If it is not activated, we cannot use it at any place. So object activation is mandatory. So syntax check. I will now click on Control plus F3. I can go for shortcut key Control plus F3, CTRL plus F3, or I can click on this icon also, and I will activate it. You see, my object is in active status and it is ready. So I will simply copy this domain, and for now I will store here. So for my employee table creation, here I will be storing, or better, let's store here domains, domains. And the very first domain that I have is my employee ID, right? Any question here, how to create a domain? Anything, any questions?
For me, cleared.
Yeah, okay, good. Any other? Nothing,
No question.
right? So similarly, we will create domain for each and every column. You see this, we have got character 40 for employee name. So let's go back to S11. Here I will give the name as employee name. I will go for creation. I will give a short description here, employee name, and this will be data type as character, and the length will be 40. Save it to our package. Check the syntax and click on activate button to activate it. Yeah, once it is ready, copy it, and either you can store it here, or one way is you can simply go to SE10 also. You can refresh it. You will see another section has been added here of domain, and these two things are also there. Double click and it will take you to there. So this is another beautiful feature of SAP. Domain, employee name. The third column I will go for department. Yeah, department. department, create it, department, yeah, and its length will be character 40, 40. Whatever the length and type they are asking, just pass it and activate it. Okay, just activate it. Copy and paste it here. Similarly, we will have the manager. Manager is character 30. Okay, so let's create it. Manager, manager, create manager. Data type is character and the length is 30. So save it and I will activate it. Copy the name and paste it. Okay. The next thing I have is salary. If you focus on salary, here we have a different data type, CURR, and the length is in decimal format, 7,2. It is in decimal format. So whenever we are talking about amount values, so we see the things like this way. Let's say 10,000 point something, let's say 7, 8. So this is the amount, right? Always we will have some decimal values for every amount, or if it is not there, it can be 0, right? So it is always there in decimal format. I will be explaining this currency and CUKY. For now, let's just create it. Okay, let's just create it. So go back and I will give the name of this domain as salary. Create it, salary column. And here I will be giving the data type as this time CURR, or you can also click on F4 and you can select the CURR. And the length will be 7 character. And the decimal places I'm giving here as to up to 2. You can give a maximum also, it's totally dependent on you. What is your requirement? Save it and activate it. Yeah, this is also ready. This is also ready. And the next column here is currency. Next column here is currency. Its type is CUKY. Okay, let's check this. I will create the currency column. Currency column. Create currency. Data type here will be click on F4. Check the CUKY and see automatically this 5 value is coming. So this is a standard data type. Its value is fixed, which is 5 length up only. Okay, save and activate. Save and activate. Right, save and activate. Yeah. So these two are some of the important fields, currency and quantity. Currency and quantity. These are important stuff. Let me just explain it. Two special fields we have, currency and quantity. And quantity. For the salary, I have used currency, and the second one is quantity. Yeah. All right. One question I will be asking, whenever we are talking about any amount values, let's say I'm talking about 5,000. So you will be definitely asking now whether I'm asking about 5,000 INR, or I am asking about 5,000 US dollar, or I am asking about 5,000 euro, right? You will be definitely asking it. Yes or no? Right?
Yes.
Whenever we are talking about amount value, there must
Yes.
be some unit of that amount. So the same thing that how SAP will also treat. Whenever you are storing some amount related value, it will be asking you what is the currency of it. That is why I have created one more field here where I can store the actual currency, that is whether it is euro, US dollar, whether it is INR or any other thing. We can simply store it here. So this is the quantity field where we store this, and its length is fixed. When we will be creating the table there, we will understand it in detail. But for now, just take it. It is a quantity field and its length is fixed as 5, length 5. And this is your CURR field, where you will be storing the amount related values. Okay. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Everyone, is it clear the
Yes.
concept of domains and all
Yes.
those things?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we learned today. What we saw here was we started our data dictionary chapter. We discussed the concept of table, package, some important T codes for the interview purpose also, and also for our use case. We saw our VBAK and VBAP table. Then we saw how the SAP has divided these two tables, right? And we started the creation of our own table, which is my employee table. And what we saw there, for creation of any table, two things are always mandatory: creation of domain and data element. So also I have given 4 steps that we are going to follow here. First will be creation of domain, which we have already done. In the next session, we will be creating the data elements, and along with we will see how we are going to manage the tables. If there is any question, please do ask. Any questions for today?
No question from my side.
It's okay, clear? Guys, I will be sharing the document.
Yes.
Let me check. Can I share it in this chat? Otherwise, I will share it in the WhatsApp group itself. Because let me see. I'm not able to share it directly from here. No problem. I will be sharing you directly in your WhatsApp group. Also, you will get your recording in the WhatsApp group, whatever the recording is there. Please do download it in your local system. Okay. Please do download it in your local system. Is it clear,
Yes.
everyone? It's okay.
Yes.
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 All right, guys. So thank you for today. See you all tomorrow, same time, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Okay. Bye.